All right, it's another Ohio State Wednesday night here on Mark Rogers TV. We sit down with Brandon Zimmerman from the Buckeye Battle Cry to talk Buckeyes football. Brandon has given us his two bold predictions. He's got one left, so check out those segments. Bold prediction number 3, Brandon.
Number 3, this is where a large portion of Buckeye Nation probably will want to fight me, but I think that JT Barrett has a great year, throws for 3,000 plus yards and over 30 touchdowns. He came close to doing that his freshman year. Last year, he threw 20 plus touchdowns. Offense, I think we're going to see a lot less running from Barrett. I think Weber's going to pick up the slack there. McCall will. But you look at what Kevin Wilson's able to do with quarterbacks, and I think it's pretty safe to say that JT Barrett's going to have his best year as a quarterback statistic-wise. You look at, Sam Bradford was on a different level in college. He threw for 4,700 plus yards and 50 touchdowns in 1 year. Look at a guy like Nate Sudfeld, who, wasn't anything spectacular, but in Kevin Wilson's offense, he threw for 3,500 plus yards and 27 touchdowns in the 1 year that he started. So JT Barrett's a lot better than Sudfeld, has a lot better talent. So I think it's kind of safe to assume that he'll get 3,000 yards passing and 30 touchdowns. I know a lot of people wish that he would just be benched and Joey Burrow or Dwayne Haskins. I'm not that guy. I never have been. I've been shouting that, since the season ended against Clemson. I think JT Barrett has a great year, and I think he makes a push to go to New York and be a Heisman finalist this year.
All right. Yeah. Everybody seems to be down on JT Barrett and forgetting what he accomplished and how good he was. Just anticipating throws, throwing in tight windows, extremely accurate, extremely poised his first couple seasons in Columbus. Yeah, something wasn't quite right. And the supporting cast certainly let him down last year. So he threw for 2,500 and change last year. So really to get to 3,000 is pretty significant. You're talking about like a fifth of his total added on to his passing total last year. 30 touchdowns would be a significant increase as well. It doesn't seem like a 24 to 6 or 24 adding 6 to get to 30, but it really is, because again, it's another quarter on to his touchdown total. I would think Ohio State fans are caring more a little bit about where those touchdowns and those passing yards are going to come. Forget the 425 spot against a MAC opponent with 6 touchdown passes. Give us the 3 touchdowns and 275 against Penn State when they come to town. So we'll see. But if he gets the Heisman Trophy finalist status and trip to New York, then that's going to tell us that, the games were well played against the Oklahomas and Penn States and Michigans.
And I think this year, along with adding in Kevin Wilson and his style, I think Ohio State's going to be a lot less likely to abandon the pass early like they were last year. There were a few games last year where, it was windy or it was rainy or JT Barrett, almost threw a pick on his first throw. And it seemed like Warner and Tim Beck just kind of shut down the offense and put the passing playbook to the side and just relied on Barrett to run and Weber to run and Curtis Samuel because they had those weapons. I feel like Kevin Wilson's not going to throw away the passing playbook as early this year, and I think that's why JT Barrett's going to be able to throw for a lot more yards than he did last year.
Okay, I'm going to say in order that the Holmes prediction may be the boldest just because he's competing for sacks with a ton of guys on that defense that are extremely talented. Mike Weber getting to 1,200 yards, I'm going to say that that's the most likely in my book that he gets to 1,200 with 10 touchdowns because Urban Meyer, despite the presence of Kevin Wilson, wants to run the ball first and foremost. JT Barrett with 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. If they get into a shootout with Oklahoma and a few other teams and they really need him, he could have an extremely efficient season and they could go undefeated and he could miss those marks, especially the yardage total. They're going to score points, but the yardage totals may not be as significant or needed for JT Barrett if they're dominant elsewhere, but we'll see how the schedule plays out and how much JT Barrett is needed to come up big in those games and also how he does respond in those situations.
Yep.
All right, Brandon Zimmerman from the Buckeye Battle Cry talking Ohio State football with us each and every Wednesday night. Brandon, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.